Okay, guys, it's time to talk about Joshua Zirkzee. We're doing the rounds. We're going over each player at Manchester United. We're going to go over their season and what to expect going forward into this 2025-2026 season. But without wasting any more time, let's get started. And my first point, the first thing I want to tackle with Joshua Zirkzee is his finishing ability, because I feel like that's my biggest gripe with him. You know, I like some things about Zirkzee. There are some things I'm not a fan of. There's some criticism, some praise, but ultimately, my biggest problem with Zirkzee right now is the simple fact that he's not a clinical finisher, and he's not really been a clinical finisher throughout his career. You look at the season he had at Bologna before he came to United. I remember covering that. I remember making those reactions, and I said, "This is a player who has a lot of potential." You know, he's got the physical stature, he's got the technical ability, he's got the intelligence to become that type of player, the type of elite player we need at Manchester United. However, his finishing ability is not there. And this season, it was there for everyone to see. You know, he scored on his first game, but over 32 games in the Premier League this season, he only scored 3 goals. In 32 games played in the Premier League this season, Joshua Zirkzee only scored 3 goals. Now, I have given a lot of slack to a lot of players at Manchester United this season. I've given even Onana some slack, even as bad as he's been. But my thing with Zirkzee is that there are some fundamental things that a striker should be doing that he isn't doing, that are impacting how clinical he is. And one of the first things that are impacting his game is his low shot volume. He's only averaging 2 shots per 90. You know, during the Euros last year, Ronaldo was averaging 5 shots per 90 and he scored 0 goals in the whole tournament. And I had to go at Ronaldo because I said, when you're shooting 5 shots per game, there's no way you don't score. There's no way that you score 0 goals. Because if you've ever played football, if you've ever watched football, you know the more shots a striker takes, the more likely he is to score goals. It's just common sense. And for a striker that only scores 3 goals in a season, where he played over 30 games to only be averaging 2 shots per 90, is kind of telling. And he's not. And it's like the team is bad, but for you to only be averaging 2 shots per 90, then you look at some of the other stats, that the simple fact that he doesn't spend a lot of time inside the box. He's a great link-up player, but he doesn't spend enough time inside the box. The simple fact that he's not a threat from aerial balls. He's 6'3", but he doesn't really score headers. It's like, I need Zirkzee to start using some of the skills he has. He's very intelligent. He needs to start using that intelligence to get inside the box and be a fox inside the box. That's part of the reason why I believe that Rasmus Højlund has a higher upside than Zirkzee. Højlund just understands what it means to be a striker. You know, some of the stuff I've seen from Højlund is like, in his first season, and by comparison, we want the best, but he still scored 16 goals. He scored like 5 goals in 6 Champions League games. Like Højlund, he's dealt with injuries, he's dealt with a bad team, but he's shown me that he can be a striker. He can develop into being a great striker. I've not seen that yet from Zirkzee. Great player, but I don't know if he can be a striker at the highest level. Now, point number 2, let's kind of change the tone a bit. He is elite in progression. You know, he needs a bit of work, but his ball carrying ability, his ability to link up with his teammates is quite amazing. Again, his technical ability is very good. It was impressive from the get-go when you watched him at Bologna, when you watch his highlights, even at United, he's had his moments. You know, with the ball at his feet, Zirkzee can cause some damage. However, as a striker, I don't care if you can cause damage if you're only taking 2 shots per 90. You know, this is something that really needs improving this season. His defensive output is also a big strength. He works really hard on defense, and when you're trying to press, when you're trying to get balls in the middle, Zirkzee does work really hard, and that is also a bonus. So yeah, he's very technical on the ball. He works hard off the ball, which is also impressive. But the question is kind of this one, is that as good as he is, I don't know if he can ever be the main man at United. I don't know if he can ever be the main striker at United. It's like, at best at United, or for what we need, he may be a very good role player. He may be someone that we can really use coming off the bench. I don't know if he can be a star. And, you know, all of these questions, not all of these questions, but a lot of these questions will be answered this season. How Zirkzee and Højlund perform against each other. If I had to bet money on it, I'll say that Højlund is going to outscore Zirkzee. And although Højlund is not as technical as Zirkzee, although Højlund is not as good on the build-up play as Zirkzee, I still believe that Højlund can definitely outscore him. Højlund just has that little sniff inside the box that Zirkzee doesn't have in his game. But yeah, I'm always for players developing. I'm always for giving players enough time to grow into the team. Again, I don't want to really give Ineos too much slack, but something Ineos are trying to do is build from young players or build with young players. So I'm always willing to give players some time. But Zirkzee, if he doesn't improve his simple mistakes as a striker, I don't know if he'll ever be a star at Man United. Again, at best, he may become a good role player, a good bench player, you know. But again, I can always be proven wrong, and if Zirkzee does prove me wrong, which I hope he does, because the better these guys do at Manchester United, the better it is for me, the better it is for us fans. If he does well, I'll come on video and I'll say, you know what, I was wrong. Zirkzee has really developed. You know what, let's all give Zirkzee a round of applause. But that has not happened yet. So I have my eye out for Zirkzee this season. I have my eye out for Zirkzee in the preseason. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching this video until the end. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, share. Do all these things to please help me grow this channel. And as per usual, guys, I'll see you soon.